Well, hi, Charmaine. You've probably heard a little bit about me. I'm the director of app development and engineering here at the company, and I've had a chance to review your resume a little bit, but I still would love to hear from you. Just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Fantastic. Terry, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I've been very excited for the chance to meet you. Through the past years, I've worked across digital marketing, SaaS, retail tech. If I were to condense a common thread with the milestones in my career, it has always been two things: improving how people experience complex systems, and number two, I always seem to be at the healthy tension of innovation and technology alongside improving customer experience. So when I started my career in marketing, I'm going to date myself, but hopefully not too much. When I started my career in marketing, it was the time when SEO and search was just coming into the fray. And what does that mean? That means that marketing is finally starting to be quantifiable. Finally, we're able to see how people are searching and how we actually see their behaviors online, how their searches lead to purchases or other actions. So I was really thriving in marketing, but I knew at some point I needed to make a change. So around the time that I was pivoting from marketing into product management, and I was still in marketing at this time, I remember being at Citrix and I asked our development team to drop a simple pixel and a quick navigation change. So a pixel is, as you know this already, it's a simple line of code, and a navigation change in order to support a campaign that we were launching in 2 weeks. The developer and the product lead came back to me and said it was going to take 4 weeks for one line of code to be added into the page. So this, while there was healthy discussion and I didn't challenge it, but I really tried to understand what's going on with the processes that our product team had to go through in order for this timeline to happen. But that moment really just stuck with me. It's a point of levity now at this point, but that moment stuck with me because it showed how critical clarity and alignment are in really building technology. And it pushed me to step into product management and to see if I can discover my own why of why I would be delving and pivoting into this role. So, as I mentioned, at Citrix, I manage digital tools and marketing campaigns. And lately at VF Corporation, which is the parent company of known outdoor brands such as North Face, Vans, and Timberland, I led product teams through transformation efforts focused on AI-powered self-service and digital accessibility so that every customer could engage fully. I've also deepened my perspective in AI as a teaching assistant in a UX for AI course, which means I get a chance to help practitioners translate new technologies into human-centered applications. So I guess the question is, why healthcare and why now? For me, healthcare feels like the right place to apply what I've learned so far. And with healthcare, digital tools aren't just conveniences. I believe that they actually do shape how patients experience care, whether they feel supported in difficult moments. And I feel that I would like to be a part of an organization that evolves in its product practice, whether it's dropping simple pixels, launching big initiatives, or incrementally improving digital experiences for the customer.
Yeah, thanks. And it's great to hear what your motivation is and your interest in this field. But I'd like to be confident in specifically how you can handle some things related to project management and keeping delivery on track. So tell me about a time when you had to work with engineering on a large and important initiative. How did you keep delivery on track with people like me and the people that work for me?
Absolutely. My approach for keeping delivery on track is to highlight cross-functional alignment, drive incremental delivery, and use metrics to measure progress. So at VF Corporation, for example, I've actually led teams through multi-brand digital transformations, which required balancing shared platform objectives with specific brand needs. So as you probably also experienced with your company at VF Corporation, we were tasked with a charter to make sure that each functionality and each delivery that we have is something that supports the ecosystem and something that can be scalable across our brands. But the brands also have called us to make sure that each functionality gives them a chance to be flexible with how they can address their needs and their customers. So there's nuances there that we need to put in place in order for them to be flexible with what they need to do. I kept delivery on track by setting clear OKRs, breaking work into phases, and sometimes doing the staggered approach when it comes to launching certain things, and also ensuring that we are creating alignment with rituals alongside engineering, design, business teams, and even legal. This structure gave us momentum while ensuring that stakeholders stayed confident in the progress.
Got it. Thanks very much for that. So let's say you've built it, but now you find that adoption is slower than you expected.
Oh boy, yeah.
What can you do about that? How do you handle those situations?
Data is always one that I lean into in order to really open up the aperture with making the opportunity clear. But I also try to center my approach in emphasizing small wins, data-driven iteration, like I mentioned, and bringing stakeholders into the process. So communication is key. From my experience at VF, adoption usually lags when the value isn't obvious or the tool disrupts old habits. So at VF, I shifted adoption of a global analytics dashboard by involving users early, proving small wins, and embedding the tool into our leadership routines. I encountered challenges with not only developing the actual global dashboard itself, but I was faced with stakeholders who were so used to certain ways of how they pulled the data. But it didn't happen overnight, but through the course of several months while we were developing this tool, we emphasized that this is something that is just something that is there to serve them, number one. And number two, also pull them actively into the process, whether it's the design, whether it's the validation of the data, or really just overall conversation on making sure that we're covering what they need. And then lastly, we emphasize the fact with buy-in from our leadership that we will have one source of truth. And by having one source of truth, even though they have different ways of trying to access their data, this will ultimately be the one dashboard that everybody needs to see in order to figure out how we refine our products and how we make progress towards our goals.
I'm glad you're in it for the long game. And since you are, one of the things we'll be looking for is to have you develop a team. So tell me how you mentor and develop product managers on your team.
Right. There's a lot of ways to really help develop and mentor a team and keep them focused. So I try to center my management style and my mentoring style on clarity, empowerment, and career growth. I try to create clarity by setting clear objectives and giving my PMs on the team ownership of measurable outcomes, and this empowers them. I also try to support growth with regular feedback and really making space for them to lead in cross-functional settings. I also make sure that there's an environment for them to be heard and to be able to communicate with me in terms of feedback that is critical to our goals, but also potentially critical of me and the team. We all need to grow. And I think that constant feedback is very important and therefore promotes psychological safety. And then I measure success by both the product results that we deliver and the career steps that my team members take. Ultimately, I am their biggest cheerleader when it comes to advancement in how they drive their careers.